Morning, everyone. I'm going to take a shot of my keto kick before we kick this Zoom off.
You are.
Send some reminders into your team chats. My friend Diane and I have an awesome training for you guys this morning. We're super excited. Let's give it like 30 seconds.
Here, let's cheers.
Put in the chat where you guys are coming in from, listening in, watching, and maybe what flavor of ketones you shook up today. I had some Mexican ones before my workout this morning, and now I'm shooting my keto kick. Let's do this.
Jody, can you hear me okay?
It'd be really bad if I choked on Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. We're going to get started. It is 9 o'clock. Cheers. Cheers, Maddie. Morning from Massachusetts. My name is Jody Scheibe, and I'm coming to you from San Diego, California. So it is 9 a.m. here. Afternoon for you guys on the West Coast. And my friend Diane and I are super excited to do the training this morning about how to start the conversation with people. So first, I'll just like a 30-second background on myself. I have been sharing ketones and drinking ketones for a little over 5 years. And the reason I'm really excited to give you guys some information, some tools today about how to start the conversation is I pretty much built my business starting conversations. I'm a mom of three. I have a 16, 18, and 20-year-old. And when I started Prove It, I was not really on social media. So let me kind of see in the chat, for those of you who are building mostly belly to belly already, maybe put a 1. For those of you who are here going, how the heck do people talk to other people when they're out? Put a 2 in the chat. Let's kind of see where you're at. And it's okay, trust me. I want to remind you that we all start somewhere. The first time I got on social media, it was messy. It wasn't perfect, and that's okay. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through the awareness that starting conversations is actually so much simpler than you think it is. We're going to give you phrases to use that can be duplicated anywhere with anyone. Are you guys getting excited yet? You're going to walk away from this training knowing who you can talk to, how to find people to talk to, what do you say to people to start the conversation. And you're going to have these tools and be so excited to leave your house, get out of your car, go into a store, and start conversations with people. I wish I was a math person and knew how many billions of people there were on the earth. My son would know this. But literally, once you master, and I don't want to say master, once you start what we're going to teach you today, you will never run out of people. You will never run out of, you'll need 5 rhino trackers to track the people. You will never run out of people. You will always have people to put on your rhino tracker and people to put in our simple system of ACE, right? Attract, connect, enroll. So part of attracting today that we're talking about is people everywhere, how to start the conversation. So I'm going to pass it over to Diane, and she's going to introduce herself, and we're going to kick this off.
Amazing. Can you hear me okay, Jody?
Diane, I can't hear you. Oh, now I can.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. So the first part of it is making sure that they can hear you when you share your story. So what we wanted to really start with, which is really the foundation of anything, is your mindset. So as many of you are aware, whether you've been here with us for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, almost 7 years, is what is your mindset when you are in front of people? So it doesn't matter how fabulous your story is. It doesn't matter how fabulous we know that ketones are. We know that our story and our product are amazing, is our mindset. So one thing that I literally last night, someone had said to me that everything is a transfer of energy. So even if you're, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I don't want to be salesy. I'm not good at sales. One of those things that we want to address as we're moving into how simple, how genuine this conversation is that everything is a transfer of energy. So when you think about what state you're in when you are sharing the conversation and being mindful of your belief, being mindful of, again, how you feel when you're in front of people, that's going to make a huge difference on their response to you. And so we are very, very heavily invested in the mindset training within the Prove It community. which I think is something that has helped me to grow as a leader and proven as a leader in my own life. And so intention and mindset and our state of being when we're sharing it is going to be super important. So one of the things we want to just start this off with is, what is your intention? Where are you operating from? So if you are operating from, I'm in front of my best friend, she just had her third baby. I know that she's fatigued. She's been, complaining about her lack of sleep. I know she has a lot of, maybe guilt because she's trying to stay up for her other two, but she's up all night with her baby. Then you're operating from a place of contribution. So then you're thinking, how can I support this person? I'm so excited that something that I have has so much value that I can then offer the other person. So when we are coming from a place of contribution and we're coming from a place of authentic value, then our state and our intention is so genuine that we wouldn't even think that we're selling. So I wanted to really start that. And if we can just think about this after the Zoom, like, where am I operating from? Am I finding that I'm trying to get customers, or am I just so excited to share this with people, whether or not they want to be a customer or not, that I know that I've done my job of kind of paying it forward, right? Because we're all here because someone shared ketones with us. So Mitch Newman shared ketones with me in September 2015. And I didn't know what ketones were. I didn't know what the ketogenic diet was, but I put my first serving of ketones in my body, and my life improved tremendously, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. That my operating when I come in front of someone is, I can't wait to share with them what has helped me. And I wonder if that will be able to help them too. So Jody, I wanted to maybe just have you share something important that I think is really a valuable tactical around how am I operating. You shared something with me around what you do when you leave your house. You don't even know who you're going to be in front of. And you share something so valuable that is really the forefront of how are you operating. It's about your intention when you leave. Can you share that with our community?
Yes, absolutely. So before we give you how to start the conversation, this is the most important thing. You have to put your energy and intention into running into people and having the conversation. It's kind of like, have you guys ever been car shopping and looking at a certain vehicle, and then you go out on the road and you see it everywhere? Or you get pregnant and then everyone's around you is pregnant, it seems like, because it's in your RAS, right? I think it's your something activating system. I forget what it stands for, but you're putting it in your brain. So let's put it in our brain before we go out of our house, right? That there are people we're going to meet. Like, I sometimes think, thank you, reticular activating system. That's it. I sometimes play a game with myself. Like, I'm going to meet 3 people today. Or sometimes, if you want to take it even further, as you practice this skill, you can say, I'm not coming home till I meet 5 people. But I'm telling you, before you leave the house, say you're going to Target, say you're going to a restaurant, say you're going out shopping. I promise you, if you set the intention, energy is everything. Energy, vibration, it's everything. We hear it all the time with Joseph McClendon. And I'm telling you, I was doing this before I realized what it was. And now that I've become more aware of it and I've even put more energy towards it, it's amazing what can happen. So before you leave your house, put in your mind, I can't wait to meet those people today, to have the conversation that could change their life, right? We always say the power of one, you're one away. Put that in your brain. Oh my gosh, I'm going to meet that person today. I'm going to meet that person, right? And I love what Diane said, is setting the energy and coming from a place of contribution. For those of you who are really good at building on social media, you're not out there being spammy. Can I get an amen for you social media builders? You're not out there. People don't go to social media to buy something. They start the conversations with you guys when you're really good on social media, because you're providing value, because you have energy, because you're attracting them. The same thing is true in person. You're not going out to spam someone. You're not going out to sell someone. Literally put that energy. For those of you who do this on social media, it's the same thing. You're already doing it. So put it in your mind and start there, and then leave your house. And I'm just going to tell you guys, this may take practice. You may not do it perfect. In fact, you probably won't do it perfect. I did not do this perfect in the beginning. I stumbled, or I ran into somebody and I said, oh, I didn't bring it up. Like, but fail forward. This is something that's a muscle. Everything takes practice. And the only way you don't succeed at this is if you stop trying, and stop setting the intention to meet people. So Diane,
Yes.
what is one thing that, I don't care if, you have a 3-year-old, can spark the ketone conversation, even if they're not talking yet. So here's the simplest thing you guys can do when you leave your house. Want to go for it, Diane?
Drink ketones. So I can actually attest again, because experience is everything. Before I even start that though, when we talk about fail, I learned this, and maybe I'm just like, the last one to learn this, but fail is an acronym for first attempt in learning. So what you just said, Jody, around like practice, you can't get good at something until you practice it enough that you're starting to get familiar with it. It starts to be automated. Like, you're not used to doing anything, even going to the gym, until you start going, and then you just are doing better, and you're growing, your muscles more, right? You want to build the muscle. Starts with the belief muscle, but also, so when you're going out, like, I go everywhere with my shaker bottle. I go everywhere with my t-shirts, with my tank tops. It's something that sparks the conversation and people do ask, like when I'm at the gym or I'm at yoga, I always strategically have my yoga mat. I go closer to the front so that I can put my drink ketones at the front of my mat. I'm always going like this before I drink it. And I like to have the colored version of the ketones in my shaker bottle, whether I'm getting my nails done, whether I'm getting a pedicure, whether I'm getting my hair done. And Jody and I can really attest that, like, my salon, my hairstylist is my customer. The accountant at my hairstylist, the actual salon, is my customer, simply because I walked in doing what I do, because ketones are me, right? And so the other thing I wanted to share with that as well too, we're in the conversation, is allow people, and I hope this lands, is allow people to give themselves a reason to want to know what you do. And I'll give you an example. Is, say we are talking to someone, you could be talking to someone at the gym, you could be talking to someone at a barbecue, and you can ask them questions about themselves. Ask them. And, it doesn't have to be like, what do you do for work? Or you can ask them anything, depending on how you know them, depending on the scenario. But when you ask people questions and they start talking to you, a lot of times, and I'm telling you, they walk themselves into you having to share what you have. So if someone says to you, you know what, like, I'm just so overwhelmed with work, I feel like I can't get a minute to breathe, my sleep it sucks. You then can still listen to them. Don't cut them off and say, oh my God, I've got ketones, you need to be my customer. But what if you allow them to talk, and then you say, you know what, you just shared with me how terrible your sleep is. I'm curious. Do you know about ketones? Like, what do you know about ketones? Or I'm curious, are you drinking ketones? Or I'm curious. And something that I shared with Jody as well too, because maybe you're not ready to jump into the question as you're starting out, but something that I found valuable, I still always ask the question, what are you familiar about ketones and ketosis? But maybe you start with, how familiar are you with the ketogenic diet? And then they could say, heard about it, everyone's doing the diet, oh my God, I did the diet, I lost 36 pounds, and then I couldn't do it, and I couldn't sustain it. It was 5 years ago, I've gained 50 pounds. And then you can then say, well, do you know about drinking ketones? Jody, can you share, because you've mentioned something to me about how you say what you say around that?
Yeah. So I love, Diane, what you were saying is people actually tell you they need ketones before you start conversations. Did you hear that? Like, if you're in line at Target, this is my favorite thing to do, is be around moms in Target. One of them's going to yawn, or they're going to be rolling their eyes at their crying babies, right? They're literally begging you to tell them about ketones, right? And you already put it in your head, you're looking for people. And I hope you guys wrote that down, because Diane just dropped the single most simple sentence that you can ask somebody. Are you drinking ketones yet? That's not weird. It's not. I used to say, what do you know about ketones or ketosis? I think, are you drinking ketones yet? If you're wearing the conversation, you will get people who say, oh, are you doing that diet? I guarantee you, if you wear this conversation every single day, you will get someone that asks you that question too. And that's, like Diane said, a really easy opening. Are you drinking ketones yet? If you have a shaker bottle, make sure you're shaking that up as loud and obnoxiously as you can wherever you are. My favorite is on an airplane, right? I wait till I sit down. I wait till the people are trapped and the no seatbelt sign is on. And then I open my bottle and I fill, I already have water in it through security, whatever, after security. And I rip my ketones, I put them in the shaker and I shake them really loud. They usually ask me what they are. I also love what Diane said, because people love to be asked questions about themselves. Compliments. If you're in line, somewhere, you may look at someone and be like, hey, I love your shoes. Where'd you get those? Just start a conversation. Starting the conversation is super simple. Like, hey, oh my gosh, I love that purse. Where'd you get that? Right? So if you're nervous to talk to people, start with a compliment. And we're going to go through a couple scenarios in a little bit of situations where you can find people. And we might even like role play some or take some ideas from you. But so hairdressers, I know this is going to make some of you really like your stomach's going to flip, but I rarely ever get my hair cut by the same person. I know some of you will not be able to handle that, but I guarantee you all get your hair cut. You all do something for yourselves. If you're continually going to the same person, you're missing out on an opportunity to meet somebody new. You're literally in that chair for an hour. So Asim, go to a different beard person. No, I actually saw my hairdresser earlier this week, and I said, I'm not cheating on you. I'm really just looking for more people to share ketones with. And she actually drinks ketones, and she's like, I totally get it. Right. So I'll come into you, Janice.
Yeah. Jody, I want to share something with you that is so valuable that you just said, because again, so I'm going to be moving like soon. And I said to my husband just this morning over keto cream and coffee, because we literally have a keto cream and coffee hour like together. This is like our thing. Don't ever be without keto cream around my husband or he'll start to lose it. And I said to him, I'm so excited that we're moving to a different city. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of utilizing the intro for all of the different yoga studios, because you always get like a free week intro, $20 or like $100 for the month for like unlimited yoga to see if you like the studio. And I'm like, I'm just going to go and I'm going to yoga surf, because then again, it's an opportunity to find out where I love to be the most, but also an opportunity to always thinking about how can I get in front of the most people in the shortest amount of time. Right. So I just wanted to share that. Think about what that looks like for you. Maybe you're someone who loves to go to the farmers markets. Maybe you're someone who loves to, certain sports that it makes sense to go to different ones. Think about that for your lifestyle, where you live, because it's going to be different for everyone. But you want to think about your unique scenario. How can you magnify and how can you maximize an opportunity to give the gift that you have and share that with other people? So Jody, I just wanted to share that with you as another example.
I love that. Yes, when I travel or I change areas, I start more conversations because I'm in front of more people. So, okay. So now that we gave you the sentence, are you drinking ketones yet? Or what do you know about the keto diet? We've got to close the loop there and show you how that goes into our ACE system, right? So you ask the question, now what? Are any of you wondering, how do I go from there? How do I connect from there? So my favorite thing to do when I ask that question, say I am standing in line at Target or I'm at the post office. By the way, sometimes it pays off if you have a busy post office to take that trip instead of using pirate ship, shove all your ketones into the envelope next to as many people as you can. Somebody's going to ask you what those packets are, or drop them in front of their feet and pick them up, whatever. Okay. So if I say, are you drinking ketones yet? Say I'm in Target, I see a mom yawning. I go, oh my gosh, I used to be so tired myself. Are you drinking ketones yet? Now, remember how we talked about energy? It's your energy around it. It's not what you say next. I want you guys to know this. You can't mess this up. It's how you say it. Okay? It's not what you say next after you ask the question. It's how you say it. So if I say to somebody, are you drinking ketones yet? And the mom goes, no, what are those? I literally go, oh my gosh, it's going to change your life. I would give anything to have had those when my kids were little. Notice I didn't explain what ketones were. I didn't have to be an expert. I didn't have to be a scientist. I'm not a doctor. But that energy and that excitement, I remember the first time that when Katrina introduced ketones to me, like how people don't remember exactly what you say, but they remember how you said it. She was like, oh my gosh, you haven't drank these yet? I feel incredible. Like I'm not like needing a nap. I'm not snacking out of the kids' candy cabinet. And I was like, whoa, maybe I need this. I didn't even know what it was. But the energy around what she was saying to me made me curious, right? And that's part of ACE, attract, connect, enroll. So going right to the connect, we've got that campfire, people, you guys, we've got the video, we've got the tools. So how do you get there, right? How do you close that loop? So, oh my gosh, are you drinking ketones yet? No. Like, what are those? Then I go into, oh my gosh, I wish I had them when my kids were little. I feel amazing. I have so much energy. Quick, really quick. What's your cell number? I'll text you a short video. Watch it when you have time. This is literally going to change your life. That's how I do it. Plain and simple. I go, right. What's your cell number? Now, some of you dudes on this call, because Brittany has told me I don't feel super comfortable asking a girl for her cell phone number. So you may have to like tweak it for that, right? Right. You do. Good. Perfect. But I ask for their cell phone number. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 times they give it to me. 100% of the time, if they give it to me, I've got a connection. Like I'm going to have a follow-up and I'll talk about that. So I just say in the line at Target, on wherever, it can be just in passing. I went to a street fair on Sunday. By the way, if there are any street fairs by you, you're literally sitting on a gold mine. Go with the t-shirt, go with a backpack with packets, go with your shaker bottle, go meet every single vendor, compliment them on their stuff. Ask them if they're on social media and ask them if you can follow them. That's like the simplest way to meet new people. For those of you who build on social media, that's like, I hope you guys just heard what I said. Like that's another part of starting the conversation is to get people into your feed. So they see what you're doing on social. So if you're sitting here and you're crushing social media, get more people into it. Meet them, ask them like, are you on social? Like, I want to follow you. They will be like, yes. And then they follow you back. But ask for that phone number. So you're going to send the campfire video and I get their phone number. And then as soon as I have a chance, right? Like maybe we check out a Target, go, hey, and I'll ask them, what's your name? Susie. I go, hey, Susie, it was great to meet you today at Target. Here's a video that explains what I was talking about. I feel amazing drinking this stuff. Hit me back after you watch it, right? Because the goal is to get them to watch that campfire video. You connected them with the resource. So here's our ACE, right? You attracted them in, you asked the question, you got them the campfire video. Then the next goal is to get them an experience, And just one tip I do when I enter someone in my phone, I'll put their name in. I used to put an X in front of their name so I could go back and follow up. But I was talking to Diane yesterday. I was like, maybe put an R for Rhino or put the word Rhino Susie so that you can go back to your house, get your Rhino tracker out, because starting these conversations does you no good if you don't know how to follow up or who to follow up with. Okay. So you're going to take these interactions and make sure you get them put on here. I'd put Susie, Target, cell phone. So I know that she's in my phone and I know when that Wednesday guest call comes up, I know where to go to invite her to the guest call to get it in, right? Did I miss anything there, Diane, about the closing the loop?
No, I think that's great. And it's also a little hack for the dudes is that if you don't feel comfortable asking for their phone number, that's when you say, hey, you know what? I would love to, maybe not love. I say love because I say love all the time. Maybe the dudes say, are you on social media? Let's add each other on Facebook and I can send you a really great video in your messenger. Mm-hmm. Because again, getting the phone numbers, I always get the phone numbers, but I also say, and are you also on social media? So I'll get their number, then I still add them because one of the biggest things we want to do is we want to show them our lifestyle, right? There was something I also wanted to share and I kind of lost my train of thought around like not being a commercial, right? So having those conversations, allowing it to unfold. And then there was something else I'll probably just try to go back to before we close out is just because now on social media, they're going to get to see what you're doing and you're going to be able to see who they are, what they love, right? Because again, it's not about posting and praying as a commercial. We don't use social media as a commercial because no one would follow us. But when you're starting to engage on other people's content and learning who they actually are, so you see that Susie from Target also has a HIIT training gym. She didn't get a chance to tell that to Jody at the Target, in the store, but then you're now going to see other ways that she can actually utilize. And then you can go back to Susie on Facebook Messenger and say, hey, Susie, just wanted to check if you had an opportunity to see the campfire video. And I'm just loving the fact that I saw you doing some HIIT training. I would love to share some resources around what ketones actually do for muscle preservation. Because I saw that you do XYZ, I would love to share XYZ. And that's what I find I do when I'm thinking about what's a reason why I can go back to this person, and the follow-up is going to be everything. Who cares if you got the number? It's how are you actually caring about that connection that's going to allow them, if they're not ready for ketones, and by the way, guess what? They don't meet you and buy off of your website within a 24-hour period. There are times when it takes literally 12 to 24 months. I mean, even just this week, I have 3 new customers, one of which was someone I met back in August on a Facebook group. And then she came back, she's been following my lifestyle on social media. And then she came to me, she's from New Hampshire, and she came to me, and I never met her in person because I'm in Toronto. And she said, I'm actually on a plateau. I really want to find out what these ketones are doing for you now. And she's, Rochelle was from August. So you really want people to be now watching your show, if you will, right? So I think it's really important, even if you do get their phone number, making sure that you are getting them an opportunity to be part of your social media circuit as well too.
Awesome. I love that you kind of nailed that home, because even now, like sometimes I mess that up. I get their cell and I don't get their social, right? But they will watch you. They might watch you for 30 days. They might watch you for 60. They might watch you for 12 months. Like my last customer that just bought $600 worth of ketones, met her out somewhere, added her on social media. She watched me for a year. Okay. So those are all like, remember, you're winning at this as soon as you have a name down here. It's not when they buy. It's not when they become your customer or promoter. I promise you, you're winning at this when you have a name down here. That is the goal. The rest will fall into place. I promise. So I just want to touch on, because I get this question a lot. We got like maybe 5 more minutes. Maybe put some scenarios in the chat that you have struggled with in the past. And we can kind of, Diane and I can kind of give you a tip, or if there's like a situation you're in or going to be in or have been in and you're not sure how to do it, put that in the chat. But one of the other really easy ways, Diane touched on this, to start a conversation with someone. Say you're at a dinner party, a barbecue, a birthday party. We're coming into summer. You guys are going to be social, unless you never leave your house. You will be socializing at some of these gatherings. And hey, don't think that this is like, oh, only extroverts can do this. For those of you who know me really well, I'm extremely introverted. I could literally stay home and never go out. Like, I'm very introverted, but that doesn't serve me or serve my business. So I do set that intention and I go out, and I actually really love people when I'm out. I just have to make the decision to go out. So one of the best ways to start the conversation is to ask somebody else what they do for work. Birthday party, you get to talk, you're talking with somebody else. Oh, what do you do? Where do you live? 9 times out of 10, they will ask you, what do you do? And how many of you struggle with answering that question? I do sometimes still. Like, if somebody asks me what I do for work, I'm like, well, what do I say? I don't want to say I sell ketones. I don't want to say anything about community-based marketing. Like, am I the only one that struggled with that sentence? Okay, thank you, Asim. If you ask somebody what they do for work, they're gonna ask you back. And Diane and I were talking about this yesterday, and I literally love the way she answers people. So I'm gonna let her kind of give her what she says, and I'll kind of piggyback off it on what I say.
Love it. So for me, it's a kind of a flow. So say if I'm at a barbecue with a woman, right? So, because my passion is women over 40. I'm a woman over 40, and that just is who I attract. But I do have some dudes, right? Like, I'm working with trainers who are men. But if I'm, say, as an example, I'm hanging out at a barbecue and this woman asks me, so I ask her, like, what do you do for work? Oh, she's a lawyer. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. How about you? I don't say I'm an independent promoter with Prove It. I don't ever mention network marketing because it's not relevant to what I actually am involved in. So two of the ways that I answer the question is I'll say, you know what, I'm super passionate about supporting women on how to maximize and optimize their health with how we fuel our body. That's it. And then they'll say, well, what do you mean? Or fuel your body like shakes? And then they'll ask me questions. I'll say, and then that's what I go into those questions that are duplicatable no matter what. The other kind of way that I answer it too, because I want to tell them that this is what I do as a career, is I'll change the wording and I'll say, I work with women. I work on supporting women with how they utilize a fuel source that helps to maximize their health. So it's just health. I work with, and sometimes I will say, depending on the conversation, I will say I work with ketones. I work with utilizing ketones as a superior fuel source without having to do the ketogenic diet. So I don't have a verbatim script, but I do make sure that I'm confident with the way that I've presented it, that there's no confusion. So I don't skirt around a lot. I talk about health, I talk about supporting women, and I talk about fueling our body, right? So that they're not confusing it with makeup, or they're not confusing it with, training on golf. So does that make sense, Jody?
Yeah, I love that. Remember, the goal is to get to the sentence, are you drinking ketones yet? Yeah. So when someone asks me what I do, I actually say it very similarly. Like, I'm actually in the biohacking space.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
I help people hack their bodies and get into ketosis using a product. That's amazing. Are you drinking ketones yet? And I love what Diane said. Don't say I'm a promoter with Prove It. Like, literally the only high five you're going to get with that sentence is going to be from your mom, right? High five. No one else, like, that's weird. Right. So I say I'm in the biohacking space. The other thing, Diane, you said yesterday is, I'm in the e-commerce business.
I do use that depending on and if people are really curious, right? Because everyone wants an online business. So I will say, I have an e-commerce business, so I work globally. I'm building global community in the e-commerce space. And then and I'll say with an e-commerce business in health and wellness, because again, it's not e-commerce building other stuff, right? I'm not doing online coaching, business coaching. I'm actually working in health and wellness. So I like to, depending on you want to know who you're talking to, right? You really want to make sure, you always want to know your audience. You always want to know who's in front of you. If you kind of don't, you can gauge it. Have a couple of options so that you're not, again, you're running on a script that may not feel comfortable. So for me, and again, practice is going to be everything. I didn't know what the heck I was doing in my first couple of years, right? But I would just keep on saying, feeling the comfort. So it didn't matter if I didn't know a lot about everything. How confident was I with how I was sharing me, who I am, right? Like, I am super passionate about supporting women. Not my job is, I'm an independent promoter. So now what you're doing is, and I'll tell you this because even yesterday I had a conversation with a new person that was referred to me, and she said, wow, your enthusiasm alone, I need to know what you're talking about. So she didn't say, I love your title. She said, I love your enthusiasm. So let's just go right back to what Jody said at the beginning of this Zoom. Your energy is everything. How you operate, like how your energy is. They don't care about the sentence. They don't care about the title. They care about the enthusiasm. So I think that you find that little, who are you in what you do? And you find a couple of ways to share that depending on a few different scenarios of who you're talking to. You'll see that you'll never feel like you're selling, because you're providing value for something that was provided to you. And it's kind of like, think about paying it forward, right? So I hope that makes sense in terms of the practicality of it.
I love it. So, okay, let me just kind of recap. And again, if you have a certain scenario, now is the chance, if you're live, to put it in the comments and we can help you with that. So let's recap. Okay. There are millions and billions of people in this world for you to share the ketone conversation with. I assure you of that. You will not run out of people. It's actually easier than you think. It just may take some intention and take some practice, right? I heard Joseph McClendon III talk at a playbook event a couple years ago. And he said, okay, guys, I want you to close your eyes. This has always stuck with me. Do it now. Like, close your eyes. Imagine going up to somebody in the hotel lobby and asking them if they're drinking ketones yet. I mean, that's just brazen bolden, right? Like, very bold and very brazen. I got those words mixed up there. But he said, I want you to just imagine yourself going up to someone and asking them, hey, are you drinking ketones yet? And have them yell an obscenity in your face. This is what he said. I kid you not. This was that San Diego playbook. Okay. They're going to yell, F off, whatever. I know we're PG here. We could probably have kids listening in. F off. Right. And then he said to me, or the audience, he said, now, if that happened, would you die? And we were like, no. And he's like, then why are you not starting as many conversations as you can? Right? I promise you, no matter what someone says, if they say nothing, if they scream at your face, you're not going to die. And then he said something else. If I told you that you could make $1 million a month, or I had $1 million bonus for you to go talk to 100 people today, would you do it? I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Why wouldn't I? If I was guaranteed $1 million to talk to 100 people, he goes, because that's exactly what this business is. Why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing it then? Right? It's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more customers you get. The more people you talk to, the more promoters you get. So those are two things I really took away from that playbook event. One, you will never die, I assure you, by asking someone, are you drinking ketones yet? Okay. So imagine the worst possible scenario. You've already been through it because it's in your head. So it's gone, right? Just gotta do it and it will get easier. So we gave you the sentence, what do you know about drinking ketones, right? And then we wrapped it up and how to close the loop using ACE, the foundation of our system, attract, connect. You're going to connect with them either on social media. You're going to connect with them getting their cell with a campfire video. And the goal is to then get them an experience, right? And that's probably another training on how to offer that. Lori, when I send someone the video, I give them a little bit of time to respond because people are busy. Sometimes I excitedly text back, oh my gosh, let me know when you had a chance to watch it. Sometimes if they don't text back after that, I go, LOL, it was super corny, right? Question mark. Because it's kind of a corny campfire video, right? I'm just saying, but it's an awesome tool. So we go ahead, Diane.
I just wanted to share with you earlier, I was going to mention to you because some people are like, oh my God, the campfire video. So what I do, especially if I'm talking to women, is I'll say, I'm going to send you the cutest video that is literally going to explain everything to you. And I'm saying cutest so that when they're watching it, they remember Diane thinks this is so cute. So instead of cheesy. I literally, and then you know what else they see? That I'm excited to send them the video. Because I'm like, you know what I'm going to send you the cutest video. It's only 4 minutes, the cutest video. And I honestly, that's just what I do is kind of my DMO. So then I have already prefaced my energy around the campfire video. So subconsciously they're expecting it to be cute and they're going to see it as cute, not cheesy.
I love that. See, like leaders or learners, I'm going to start implementing that, right? That's why these trainings, you're always going to hear something different. Somebody asked, can we put that on Facebook? Attracting on social media is a different training topic. I wouldn't necessarily put that on Facebook in that way. I would make people curious enough to ask me how the heck I have so much energy. That's kind of a different training topic, but get with the person you're working with. Okay. So how to ask someone, you learned how to ask somebody what they do, and you learned how to kind of answer what you do, right? Hopefully this was valuable. You're in front of people every single day. And I promise you, if you just set the intention, there was a time in my business where I was like, I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I have 150 Facebook friends. And I really needed this business. I needed this business. I needed to create income for my family. So I just made the decision to leave my house and not come home till I got 5 people to campfire video. If you start thinking like that, maybe it's one person, it will happen. And anytime I left my house, it would be like an hour later, I would have 5 people to campfire video because I set the intention. It's not as hard as you think. It's more about what's between here and here. So Diane, this was awesome hosting with you. I hope you guys feel more confident in starting conversations. You have everything it takes to start conversations. If you're on here, you have a heart for people because that's what we are as provers, right? To help people feel better. And this will be, I think, put in better starts here, right, Diane?
Yes, I have a kind of a call to action for people, and I didn't talk to you about this, Jody, and I hope it's okay with the team. Is how about this? How about, because I'm actually working with a coach right now, and I think it's always amazing to have coaches because we don't know what we don't know, and we're always growing. So something I just wrote down is my version of a specific analogy is what you measure, you can magnify. So how about if you were to, as a call to action, now that you've watched our fun Zoom, now you know you can call the campfire video cute, all the fun things, practicals. What if you were to say, you know what, I'm going to do a reality check for myself. I'm going to actually see what happens whenever I open up the conversation. What if you decided, and it's up to you, I put 20 to 30 here. If you were to decide to have a reality check, I'm going to have 20 to 30 conversations, maybe you say in the next month or whatever looks like for you, and write down what happens with all of them. So instead of saying, you know what, everyone says no, and then you find out that you're talking about two people is not 7 billion or 9 billion, however many people are on the earth. What if you do a reality check and you actually find out where those conversations go? So you can say, you know what, wow, like I've had 7 people out of 20 that are actually interested. 1 person said not now. 3 people ordered. Now I've got I know that it takes about 8 to 9 to 10 touches before someone wants to work with me. And then you kind of have a reality check. So you're not letting the disillusion of your ego telling you that this is not working. So that was just something I'm going to actually do, because I'm not going to tell you what to do if I'm not doing it. I'm going to do a reality check, a rhino sheet reality check. So everyone, you're putting on your rhino sheet, which I pray that you guys have it printed out, because that, I mean, in itself is $1 million business tool. And then everyone on that rhino sheet that you're finding out campfire video, did they, have a trial? Did you get them to be a new customer? Look at your own selves progress, right? So it's like progress over perfection, so that you can actually see what's really going on, rather than telling you the fake stories that it's not working. So I thought that would be an opportunity and a suggestion that I'm going to actually take home with me, Jody. So
I love it. I mean, I'm so glad I got asked to talk about this, because I learned a bunch of new things myself. That's the thing, like, keep learning, keep doing, keep trying. That is how you get better at stuff, right? I mean, that's what I'm doing on social media. I had no idea where to start, and I'm sure I've messed it up, but I just don't mess up good for perfect, and I'm just going for it. So hope this was valuable. Thanks so much. We went a little bit over time, but I am Italian and I tend to do that. So sorry, Nick and Maddie. Thanks, Diane. That was awesome.
Thank you. So awesome. Thanks, everyone.